Dear students, let us discuss another topic and let us begin with the unit second of the semester one. Uh, the first topic is the salient features of phylum Platyhelminthes. Now, Platyhelminth word is derived from the two Greek words. Platy means flat and helminth means worms because they are worm-like organisms and they are flat also. They are bilaterally symmetrical, dorso-ventrally flattened. Dorso-ventrally flattened because whenever you think of the flattened structure, there may be two possibilities. Either it may be flattened laterally or from dorsal and ventral side. So here dorsal and ventral side is flattened like a leaf. They are triploblastic worms. That means their body has three germ layers: ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. They may be free living, they may be commensal also. And commensal, means when one is benefiting and other is neither benefited nor harmed. So, such type of association between two organisms where one is getting benefit, other is neither getting benefit nor is harmed is called commensal. So, they may be parasitic also. Parasite, you are well aware of the fact that when the parasite is living on another body, the parasite does some harm to the body as well. They have the tissue organ grade of organizations. That means somewhere still there are tissues, but somewhere there are organs are formed. So already discussed that they are triploblastic animals. They have a definite polarity. Because you always remember that whenever we talk of animals, they have an anterior end having head and the posterior end having tail. Uh, till till now, we have discussed phylum Protozoa, Porifera, Silentata. They were not having the polarity. They were not having the anterior end having head and posterior end having tail. But now onwards, you can see that they have the well-defined polarity. They do have the well-defined ventral surface bearing mouth. Now, in the animals, the ventral surface is the surface which bears mouth, and the surface opposite to that is called the dorsal surface. So, their ventral surface is recognizable because the mouth is present on the ventral surface, and gonopore is also present on the ventral surface. But this feature is present in Turbularian. Turbularia is the class of phylum Platyhelminthe. But such type of feature, that means a well-defined dorsal and ventral surface is not well marked in class Metoda and Cystoda. Body is unsegmented except in class Cystoda. So, Teniasodium belongs to the class Cystoda. They are having the segmented bodies, but in rest of the platinum they don't have the segments. What are the segments? You can see this is the one segment, this is another segment, this is another. But this segmentation is uh, pseudo-metamerism. Pseudo-metamerism means these segments are false segment. So why they are called false segment? Because these segments are formed at the anterior end, at the neck region, then they grow backward, and from the posteriormost portion, they may separate out from the body and uh, may go wasted. Thus, at one point of time, you may have some number of segments. At other point of time, you may have the more or less number of segments. So, when the number of segments in animal is not fixed, it is called pseudometamerism. So young individual may have the less number of segments, and the older individual will have the more number of segments, so on and so forth. So it means they are the number is not fixed. So it is called as pseudo metamerism. That means false segmentation. Phylum Platyhelminthe is having false segmentation. Still, these animals are acoelomate. They don't have any cavity between the gut wall and the body wall. Then the space between various organs, because you know that the organs are located between the gut wall and the body wall. So the space between various organs is filled with special mesodermal tissue. They don't have cavity, but it is filled with mesodermal tissues, the mesenchyme or the parenchyme. They do have the adhesive structure like hooks. You can see this is the anterior end of the teniosolium. I have shown you in the previous slide. So here you can see that hooks are present. Spines, sometimes spines are present. Sometimes suckers are present. You can see suckers are also located over there. Okay. And sometimes adhesive secretions. All these features are very common in parasitic form. Why? Because the parasite has to remain attached with the body of other organism. So they have the hooks, spines, suckers, or adhesive secretion through which they remain attached with the body of other organisms. Body is covered with cellular, syncytial, one-layered, partially ciliated epidermis. So one-layered epidermis is the outermost covering of the body. Epidermis is made up of so many cells, so cellular. Syncytial means when, say, for example, there is a large cell and the nucleus are present in it, and the appearance is like that. If the septa develop between them, the nucleus it may look like a separate cell, but sometimes if the septa is not developed, it may look as a whole long cell with so many nuclei. So they have the syncytial, one-layered, partially ciliated epidermis, while in parasitic forms with cuticle. Now, the parasites have the cuticle on the outer surface. Why? Because the parasite has to protect themselves, their body, from the digestive enzymes of the other organism in which the parasite is living. So, for the protection, they have a well-defined layer called as cuticle. Otherwise, they have the cellular syncytial one-layered partially ciliated epidermis outside. Muscular system of mesodermal origin. So the mesoderm layer gives rise to muscles. Muscles are both longitudinal, circular, as well as oblique muscles. They are present beneath the epidermis. The digestive system is branched, incomplete. Branched, you can see, this is the digestive system. It is exactly in a branched fashion, and it is incomplete. Incomplete is the digestive system where anus is absent. So you have the mouth at the anterior end, but you don't have the anus at the posterior end of the digestive system. And so the digestive system is altogether absent in Acela and Cystoda because the parasitic forms they have to take the pre-digested food material from the host, so they don't require the digestive system for digestion of material, so they don't have the digestive system. Skeletal, circulatory system, and respiratory system are absent. Excretory system consists of single or paired protonephridia with flame cells or bulbs and absent in acela. You can look at this organism. This is the excretory system. Tubules of protonephridia are present. If you enlarge one tubule of protonephridia, what you will find that with each tubule, a flame cell is present. This flame cell takes the excretory material from the body and then pour this material into this tubule. This tubule may join with another flame cells. So ultimately, the tubule open through a body wall outside through which the excretory material may be excreted out. This type of excretory system is called as protonephridia. Protonephridia may be a single or they may be a paired. Like you can see here, they are paired structures. No, their nervous system is very primitive type of nervous system, that is ladder like. You can see here exactly it is like a ladder. Okay, you can see these are the two bars of the ladder, and these are the cross bars of the ladder, longitudinal bar and the cross bars. They are comprised of a central cerebral ganglia. You can see at the head region you have the two cerebral ganglia. It is also called as brain, and one to three pairs of longitudinal nerves. So here it is the in this diagram I have shown one pair of longitudinal nerve, which is in turn connected with one another with the help of the transverse commissures. These are the transverse commissures. Sense organs are very simple: eye spot or photoreceptor, and chemo or tango receptor. So you have the receptor for the light, eye spot, or also called as photoreceptor. You may have the chemoreceptor, uh, which can sense the chemicals, which can sense the uh, taste as well. They occur in the form of ciliated pits and grooves. Very simple type of small pits are present on the body, or grooves are present on the body, where these type of senses can be perceived. They are mostly monoecious. That means both the sexes are present within the same individual. Like you can see here, the ovaries are also present in this individual, and then you can see that these are the testes. They are again present within the same individual. Okay, so they are the monoecious. Well developed gonads. So gonads are male gonads are called testes, and the female gonads are called ovaries. So they have well developed gonads. Then the gonoducts, you can see that the ovaries, they are leading into a tube-like structures. These are called the gonoducts. Again, the testes, they are again leading to the vas efferentia, etc., and vas deferens. They are the tubes, so they are called the ducts also. So because they are coming out from the gonads, so they are called the gonoducts. Eggs mostly divide off yolk. The egg produced by them don't have yolk. Yolk produced separately in a yolk or vitelline glands. Uh, I think yes, this is the vital gland. Egg is produced in the ovary, but without yolk. When the egg reaches over there, then the vitelline gland add the yolk to the it, yolk to the egg, yolk to the egg or yolk to it. So it means that yolk are produced without eggs are produced without yolk, but the yolk is added with the help of the vitelline glands. Fertilization is internal, maybe cross or self. No, if both the sexes are present within the same individual, that doesn't mean that the fertilization will take place. Self fertilization will always be there. No, sometimes there may be a cross fertilization, and sometimes there may be a self fertilization. Development, direct or indirect, that means they may have the larval form or they may not have the larval form. Usually indirect in endoparasites. Endoparasites always have many larval forms, and with a complicated life cycle involving many larvae and hosts. So the parasites have many hosts also and many larvae also. So the life cycle is little bit complicated. Asexual reproduction by fission occurs in many freshwater tubularia. Sorry, uh, the turbularians have the asexual mode of reproduction by fission also. Parthenogenesis, that means giving rise to birth without fertilization of the egg, the parthenogenesis, and the polyembryony. Polyembryony means when many embryos are formed, are the very common features of trematode and tapeworms. Some tapeworms propagate by endogenesis or exogenesis budding. Sometimes they just develop the bud either inside the body or outside the body, and then the bud may get separated, and lead to the life of another individual. Start the life of another individual. As far as the size is concerned, small to moderate in size, varying from microscopic to extremely elongated for measuring 10 to 15 meters. So you can see on one hand they are having the microscopic size that cannot be seen through the naked eyes. On the other hand, you may find a very long organism up to 15 meters. Like Solium is having such type of long body which may attain the size of 10 to 15 meters. Thanks. This is all about the characteristic features or the salient features of phylum phylum Platyhelminthe.